welcome to yet another exciting episode of Diplomatic License right here on City TV. My name is Apioko. Don't forget, we're live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Now, where am I? I'm in Osumami, right here in Accra, specifically in Osu Amantra, crossing the street between where Amantra Street and Ni Owo Street meets here in Osu Amantra. I'm coming to meet Madame Ayelet Levin-Karp. She is the head of trade and economy at the Embassy of Israel right here in Accra. Today is Israel Day, the 15th of April, and Israel, of course, gained their independence in 1948. They've been in Ghana for quite a while, and today we're celebrating with them, even though, as usual, as we've been talking about over the past year, we're not having huge independence celebrations because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, there are lots of exciting conversations to have with Ayelet. The Embassy of Israel in Accra, no strangers. They are my friends. They are our friends here at City. And just stay tuned for exciting conversations as we celebrate Israel Day in style. Once again, my name is Apioko. Welcome. Welcome back. You're still watching Diplomatic License right here on City TV. My name is Apioko and I am your host. We're also live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Now, I did tell you that I'm right at the corner of Amantra Street and Ni Owo Street here in Osu Amantra, Osumami. And I'm here to meet my wonderful guest who is from the Embassy of Israel right here in Accra. And her name is Ayelet, aka Ayelet. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good. And well, happy Independence Day.
Well, thank you.
Yes, so we're commemorating Israel Day, Israel's independence. I know Israel gained independence in 1948. Is that right? So 73 years old.
Absolutely.
But we have this beautiful mural here. And I just want us to talk a little bit about this before we even get into any other conversation. So there's Israel on the one hand, and there's Ghana. To you, Ayelet, personally and professionally, what does this marriage of Israel and Ghana mean to you?
Well, it has been my life in the last 2.5 years. This is what I'm doing, trying to really bring the two countries together. Both, of course, at this point already have a very special place in my heart. So it's just wonderful to see the way this was created, and it was quite emotional, I must say, and definitely very nice to see.
I can imagine. I mean, I know the artist who worked on it is still around. He has some other projects he's working on, so he'll be joining us at some point. But until he does, let's talk about you. So you're the head of trade and economy at the Embassy of Israel here in Accra. What does that mean? That sounds like a really huge portfolio that you have to be really smart to handle.
Well, I usually refer to myself as a matchmaker. Because, the title is Enhance Economic Relationships between Ghana and Israel, but what it really means usually is just try to work with business people and companies from both sides to find places where they could connect on a mutual beneficial. And we have some sectors that we focus on where we really think both countries or both sectors have what to gain. And we create activities, Pre-COVID, we would have a lot of delegations and people flying back and forth. Now it's mostly virtual, but in a way it even made our role even more essential, because since people can't fly, we are really literally creating this bridge and helping both sides to find business opportunities and opportunities for growth.
So what are some of the sectors that Israel is interested in, and what are some of the sectors that you've had to do work with?
Sure. So we are very active in agriculture, naturally.
Of
course. Very important sector here in Ghana, and the one that Israel excelled in.
I will never get past the fact that Israel, which has so many rocky spaces, is producing so much produce. I can't even wrap my head around it.
And a lot of it is grown literally in the desert.
I can't wrap my head around
And the technologies that we were able to develop in order to make this miracle happen are so relevant for the setting and the challenges that the Ghanaian agriculture space is facing. So there's a lot of activity on that, trying to figure out the best ways to to bring these technologies over. We are also very active in water technologies for the same reason. Recently a lot of health, digital health specifically, but not only. We work a lot in the digital space, of course. IT, cybersecurity, fintech is quite big. We are working a lot with some Israeli fintech companies and Ghanaian, the big names in Ghana, to see how we can create some corporations around those areas, because those are just really interesting sectors here in Ghana. We also work in communications, which we're trying to do also some goods, so things that Israel is really special in, like olive oil, wines, honey, land of Makola honey, and so on. So we're also doing that. Yeah, those are the main ones. I think we have a few smaller ones. And of course, we are active on innovation and working with the startup scene here, trying to connect it to what's going on in Israel, which is of course huge when it comes to innovation.
You're plugging in almost everywhere from what I gather. I mean, and congratulations. And I'm sure these are some of the things that this year, even with COVID, Israel has to be proud of. As you've done so much across the board, across many sectors, and it's not just Ghana that's learning from you. People from all over the world look up to Israel for so many different things. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that. But at this point, we have our artist here. Def. Hi. And this is Ofwe.
This is Ofwe.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
We're cool.
Good. So, viewers and Ayelet, this is Def Art and this is Ofwe Art. Two gentlemen, I admire their work. They're graffiti artists, muralists, and they're responsible for what we're seeing here today as we commemorate Israel Day. So, gentlemen, Def, talk us through a little bit about what you were thinking with the mural. So Def, because Def, I see, is that a tablet over there, for example? Okay, so just talk a little bit about it.
This is innovation. This is innovation.
Okay.
They did cyber security.
Okay.
That is agriculture. This is education. That is innovation, and the other one is health.
Nice.
So it's about Israel and Ghana partnership to help the future, better future.
I like it. And why did you choose this particular area? Because we're in Osuma. This is Osuma Mantra.
Yeah, this is
why
Osuma
this
Mantra.
particular wall?
This particular wall.
There's a story, eh?
When I was given this job, I thought of Osu because there's a lot of youth in Osu who also want to make it in life or in whatever they want to do, find themselves in. Yeah, so I had a call, I talked to the assemblyman at Osu, and we have to come and check the wall, and he gave us a chance to, he especially chose this wall for us and says we should do this on this wall because the youth are here, mostly here, and then the kind of life they are living, he doesn't like it. So he wants a change in the youth in this society. So that is why he chose the wall for us too.
No, and I think it's brilliant. The fact that we're using art to give a message to the youth. And it's a very powerful, very, very powerful.
And it's a main road to the Osu Castle, to the stadium. So it's a one-way route where trotro, taxi, everyone passes this place. Everyone uses. So if there's a traffic on the other side, you can use this side to go to town.
So everybody will see
this.
And if you're moving to the castle, to the stadium, that's also symbolically a route to success.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
I like it. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
And Def, your work is always on point. I wish I could have painted with you.
The next one we'll paint together.
Yes, we have to. So thank you so much, Onofwe. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, City TV. And thanks to the Assemblyman of Osu. And thanks to Israel Ambassador and then the Israel community as well too.
Yay! Okay, so like I did tell you, we're commemorating Israel Day here on Diplomatic License. And we've just been speaking to Def Art and Ofwe Art. They're responsible for the beautiful mural that you see behind Madam Ayelet and I. And Ayelet, once again, is the head of trade and economy. She's doing some amazing things here in Ghana with the Israeli embassy on behalf of Israel. And of course, I'm sure personally, this also means a lot to you, the work you do here. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But Ayelet, let's talk a little bit about you. You're here with your family.
Yes.
Right? So
I wouldn't leave them behind.
So you're here with your husband and your kids. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, so I have, my husband, his name is Chaim. He actually grew up in the US, but moved to Israel, and I already met him when he was Israelized. We have three children, 8-year-old daughter Adele, Gil, which is 5-year-old, and recently we just had a new baby.
Congratulations.
He's 9 months old. Not that recently anymore, but they grow fast.
Is he walking yet? Is he crawling?
He's busy.
He's pulling
almost
your
walking.
chain?
He's destroying the house, and he's a blessing.
Imagine. And how is the family settling? And I mean, I've met Chaim, and he seems to love Ghana. He seems to love it so much. How is the family, settled in? How have you found it so far?
Yeah, well, it's a great experience for us. At this point, we are here already for 2.5 years. We really feel at home here. I was telling you, my younger daughter, she's 5, but when she came, she was 3. So for her, she's Ghanaian. This is what she knows. She says she was born in Ghana, which she wasn't. But so it's, of course, both personally and professionally is challenging at some times, just being out of your comfort zone where, everybody, you understand the culture and the people and where your community and your support systems are. But it's also a very, it's opportunity for growth. And I think we are just so, we're growing a lot, and we're also enjoying this exposure to the culture and the people, and just being able to be together as a family in such an intense experience was very good for us.
How did you end up in Ghana? Did you apply to come here, or the opportunity came and you just ran with it? How did it happen?
Yeah, so actually it's interesting. Since I remember myself, I was always very intrigued by Africa. It was always my thing. Like, as a child, I was reading the National Geographic. I'm not sure, but I was always
it's
very,
in your
very
blood.
interested. Yeah, they say this but I was actually not on the diplomatic route. So growing up, I'm a biologist in training, and at some point I joined the civil servant kind of path, and I was working at the Ministry of Economy and Industry, but at the headquarters, working actually in different strategic programs, implementing to and strengthen the Israeli economy. And then somehow I heard that they are opening a new trade and economic mission in Ghana. So this is new. I actually opened the mission.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. But when I heard that this opportunity is coming up, I was so interested. But of course, I had to check first the grounds. So I came back home and kind of just told Chaim in a very, I heard that they are going to open a new economic mission in Ghana. What do you say? Kind of, check. And he was like, let's go. So I was okay. So then, of course, since I wasn't in the diplomatic track, I had to find my way in. But I was able to make them take me, which I was extremely excited about. So I specifically wanted to come to Ghana, actually, both professionally to open a mission. Seemed to me like a very interesting experience. And again, to come here, experience Africa and Ghana from the first view. We did our honeymoon was in Ethiopia, so I was always interested, but I never made it to West Africa before, so this was nice. It was not very intuitive because we were in a very kind of comfortable place in life at that point, but I think because of that we were both feeling like it's time for
some change, some adventure,
shaking up the system a little bit, and it definitely shaken up the system, this move, so it was good.
Well, I'm glad you're happy here, and we'll go for a break. And when we come back, Ayelet, we'll talk more about what the experience has been like, the food you've fallen in love with, the fashion. I hear you have an addiction for Ghanaian markets, so we'll talk about that too. So viewers, we're going for a break. Once again, you're watching Diplomatic License here on City TV, and we're celebrating Israel Day. Israel is 73 years old. We'll be right back.
And I asked the Lord, one name fits you. And he said, yeah.
Turn your worries into worship and watch God transform your battles into blessings. My name is Edna Bright Davis.
After generation, keep praising you, yet no word sums you up.
The past year has been difficult, and I know that many people, perhaps including you, may have had their faith challenged. Allow me to lead you into the comforting presence of God through worship. Stay tuned to City TV for adoration and experience the awesome power of God's presence as we ascribe glory to His name. The rhythms of your heartbeat, pulse, and breath, all in praise of our miraculous God.
Yah the hallowed one, Yah the hallowed one, Yah the holy one.
Adoration, showing every Sunday at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. only on City TV.
Yah the hallowed one, Yah the hallowed one, Yah the holy one.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
Welcome back. This is still Diplomatic License right here on City TV. My name is Apioko. Remember, we're also live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. And don't forget, the hashtag is Diplomatic License. Follow everything we're doing across all social media platforms. Join our conversation. Tell us if there's someone you want to see on the show, and we'll go find him or her and bring them right to you. Now, before we went on the break, I did tell you that we've been celebrating Israel Day. Israel is celebrating 73 years of independence, and I'm very privileged to be doing this with Ayelet. She is the head of trade and economics. She's the head of trade and economy. Which one?
Trade and Economic Mission.
She's the head of the Trade and Economic Mission at the Israeli embassy right here in Accra. And we've been talking about Israel, Ghana, how she got here with her family, and how things are going so far. You know, so we're here at Osumami. There's a mural that's been done. We spoke to the artists a little earlier, Def Art and Ofwe Arts. Great, great guys. And this is how we're celebrating, basically. And this brings me to my next question. How has it been with COVID? And before we even get into the conversations about the kinds of food you've fallen in love with and all that, but how has it been with COVID, you know, here in Ghana? And also, how is Israel doing? Because from what we hear in the news and what we read, Israel is doing really well, and we're really proud of you. But how has it been?
Well, I think Israel had a challenging time during COVID, like I think the rest of the world. But we got it quite hard for a while. Actually, I was in Israel for a while because I was giving birth, so I was there for some of it, and it wasn't easy. We had several lockdowns. The airports were shut down for a long time.
What was it like being pregnant in COVID time? I can't imagine.
Wasn't the easiest. It was a little stressful, you know. And when I was giving birth, I was the only one not wearing the mask in the room, and the baby when they came out. But we've done that. That's okay. He brought a lot of light into that period, which was actually very, very nice and meaningful. So yeah, Israel had difficult times, but yeah, now, thanks to the very efficient vaccination program that was going on, now more than half of the population is actually fully vaccinated.
Wow.
And the country is quite rapidly going back to normal. So the talk now, when I call Israel, people are like, you know, people are back to life.
They're
which
happy.
is amazing. And it's not only amazing of course for Israel, but also it's like, I feel like it's a light of hope for the whole world, that things could go back to normal quite soon. So of course there's still some restrictions in place, but every day they are lifting more and more restrictions out. So it's been very, it's a time of hope.
Yeah.
And,
What has it been like working amid COVID? You've been working from home, I imagine, for a lot of the time.
Yeah, so we're working from home for most of the time, but it's not only that, it's also the core of our work is delegations and conferences and events. It's extremely physical and involves a lot of traveling. Both, of course, were impossible to do during this period, but at the same time, our role became even more essential because when people can't travel to do business, they need someone on grounds to help them because business still needs to happen. So we were very, very busy, both just helping our contacts kind of proceed and find ways to cope with the situation, but also inventing ourselves or reinventing ourselves and finding different platforms, different ways of doing things. So now, we have a lot of different, because, you could say, okay, fine, let's just move it to Zoom. But it's not exactly,
it's not that simple.
It's not copy-paste.
Yeah,
you need to try to understand how to do things in a format that would still speak to people, still be useful, still have the effect that you want. And I must say that I'm quite proud of ourselves. Looking back at this year, we were still, even though all of the restrictions, we were able to do quite a lot and accomplish and help bring. We have quite a few good success stories and a lot of partnerships between Israeli and Ghanaian business people that happened even throughout this year.
Kudos to you and to Israel, and thank you for the work that you've been able to do in this period. And I'm sure a lot of that work has kept a lot of Ghanaian businesses afloat. You might not hear about it all, but I'm sure in your own way you've kept some Ghanaian businesses going, and we're grateful for that as well. Before we head to the markets, which is very important, what's your favorite Ghanaian food? What have you discovered that you love?
Well, I will start with I love the fruits. The fruits are just, I know it's not exactly a Ghanaian food, but
no, it counts because you can't find mangoes and pineapples everywhere in the world.
In Israel, pineapple would cost, I don't know, like 70 cedis. It's like, and here it's like, it's our breakfast and the coconuts and so on.
Oh wait, a pineapple in Israel costs like 70 cedis.
It is rare. They're all mostly imported and very, very rare to find. So this is like
heaven.
Heaven, and all of the tropical foods that we have here are just delicious. But of course, I actually really like the yam balls and the jollof rice and gari. There's quite a lot. I tasted quite a lot of things, but I think those will probably be my favorites.
Sounds good. So we're going to the market. I know we're not just going to get food. We're going to do some fabric shopping and some bead shopping as well. But quickly before we move, I have another question for you. Do you find good substitutes for Israeli food here? Like in terms of the ingredients and then even the dishes, are there good substitutes that at least bring home closer?
Yeah, we're actually able to find, since we, there's a big Lebanese community here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a lot of Middle Eastern food that is coming around the markets here. So we find most of the things, and whatever we don't find, we just bring with us when we go to visit. So at this time, when we started, we had to figure out where to get everything that we like and everything that we know. But at this point, we're good.
Sounds good to me.
And we eat a lot of local food because we are here.
Sounds good to me. So Ayelet, my sister Ayelet, we're going to take a walk to the market, right? I don't know how we're going to do this, but yeah.
Might be a little far.
Makola is not as, our forefathers and grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers did it, so let's try. So viewers, we're going to the market.
Your Sunday evenings just got better.
Fernandez, Greenwoods, breathtaking.
Catch all the thrills, the fun and the action right here on Ghana's fastest growing TV channel, City TV.
Here goes LeBron, bullies his way in.
As we review the weekend sporting action, providing the best analysis on your favorite sporting moments.
That young man from Uruguay, Valverde.
Yeah.
Wow, goodness me.
Federico.
He's an engine.
Barcelona are very disappointed in themselves because they've been all over the place since the restart. My point is, they've literally handed the title to Real Madrid.
This is where it all begins.
Akanji in towards Haaland, who gloves it on.
This is Scorecard with me, Fentu Otaiho Fentu. Every Sunday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. City TV, it's your world.
We're finally here at the Makola market. That was a long walk, right? But at least it's not as hot today as it could be, so we're fine, you know. Okay, so we're here. We're going to do some fabric shopping, and then I'll speak to Ayelet some more about how she grew up in Israel and a few other conversations as well. So let's go to the fabric shop?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's go. So it's been an extremely long walk. We're not panting. We've taken a bit of a breather. You didn't catch that. But now we're at Fresco International Limited. And what we're going to do here is, like I promised, some fabric shopping. And it's quiet, so we get to talk. My new sister, Ayelet, and I. Now, if you just joined us, we're commemorating Israel's Independence Day. Israel gained their independence in 1948. It's been 73 beautiful years, and clearly they have a lot to show for it, a lot to celebrate, a lot to be grateful for. And I'm here with Ayelet. She is the head of trade and economies, or, you know, she runs this interesting aspect of the Israeli mission here in Ghana, and I've been very pleased to learn about a lot of that today. And now we're going to do some fabric shopping here at Makola, in the heart of Accra. So hi, we're back.
Hi.
How do you feel? Really?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I mean, you have picked up this very, very interesting fascination with, and I imagine it didn't just start from here. What was it like growing up in Israel? Did you have anything in terms of fabric and fashion as colorful as we do here in the shop?
No, well, not at all. But this might have been part of I was telling you about how I was always fascinated by Africa. I think probably part of it was the colors are so bright and so beautiful. So it was always part of my fascination to see how the dress-ups and the different, of course it's different from different culture and different countries, but a lot of them are very colorful. And in Ghana I find it's really amazing to see the different outfits that people wear and the fabrics. I'm just buying them constantly, trying to figure out what to do them afterwards. It's not always so easy, but we have plenty of them at home.
So what was it like growing up in Israel? I mean, while we choose what we're going to buy, what was it like growing up in Israel? I'm curious.
Well, you know, I don't have much to, I grew up only once, so I don't have much to compare it to, but it was very special, I think, because I grew up in a small community. So, you know, a kind of place where everybody knows everyone, and, you know, you're a neighbor of your teacher and so on. And we grew up...
Oh, wow, neighbor is your teacher. Did they ever knock on your door?
We tried to avoid that. But we grew up with a very strong connection to our heritage. I think just now looking back, realizing that we had field trips in Bible class. You know, so we were reading the Bible and then going out to different places and seeing where these things actually happened. our playground in my elementary school was actually a very ancient olive press that was just there. So we used to play, around it, hide and seek and so on. So we grew up with a very strong connection to the past and to our traditions, but also in a ethos of like, we are building this country, so this is a relatively new country, and how are we going to, what can we do to help, different volunteer projects, a lot of ideology, especially when the area where I grew up is quite a lot of that. So it was quite intense.
It sounds interesting.
But also beautiful.
And so, of course, in Ghana, we're about 80% Christian in terms of the religions that are represented here. And I'm just thinking about what you said. So, Jerusalem, and then you can go on a field trip to Jerusalem. What was that like? So I'm sure you may not at the time have thought it was strange, but looking back.
Yeah. Growing up, it was like the most natural thing. I remember we were learning about Shiloh, I think you call it.
Shiloh.
And then we did a field trip to see the place where they actually have ruins there of the place where it wasn't a temple, it was a Mishkan. Yeah, it was, and all of that. So that was like just a reality going to Jerusalem, of course. Also, later on, when I built my own house, that was in Jerusalem, in a place that is like overseeing the ancient city of Jerusalem. Wow. So it's our reality, but it's special. I think it does, even growing up and even having that as a given, you do gain a very, very strong connection to the past, but also, of course, looking to the future and trying to live this dream that was dreamt for 2,000 years by our ancestors.
Yeah. What does that do what has it done for your faith, for example? Because for a lot of people, and again, I'll go back to the Christian faith, probably even Judaism as well. You're reading these things in the Bible, you're hearing about them, and asking, do these places really exist? But then you had them, and it became real for you. What did that do for your faith along the way?
Yeah, I think it just really makes things much more real. And I think reading the Bible while seeing where all these things happen, it just gives everything an extra meaning. It gives it a context that you can relate to maybe a little bit better. And also, of course, reading it in Hebrew, which is the original language where it was written. And so a lot of times things get lost in translation. So I feel very privileged to be speaking this language that was actually the language of the Bible, was pretty much almost dead for 2,000 years. It was not a spoken language, and now it's coming back to life in the modern Israel. So that's another very special thing, that you could read the Bible in your spoken language.
How has, and I'll ask you, I'll let us go back a little and talk about your family and your family as a young girl growing up. So if you had siblings and all that, but how did Israel manage to resurrect Hebrew?
So it's an interesting story. When Israel was established, it wasn't clear, actually a little bit before when the Zionists came to Israel, it wasn't clear what language will be spoken, because you remember the Jews were scattered all over the world and coming back from different countries and bringing their own culture and language. And again, Hebrew was pretty much a language of text. People didn't speak it, and of course we also had a lot of words missing, because in the Bible they don't talk about electricity or cars or even ice cream, computers,
cell phones.
So all of these words were missing. So there was what they call a language fight. Of course it wasn't like physical, but there was like a big debate about which language should the new country speak. And there were different views about it. But then there was a movement of people that were saying, hey, we have to come and bring up what actually unites us, which is our identity. We are Jewish, so we should revive the language. And there were people that took this as their mission of life, especially a few that are known, Eliezer ben Yehuda, and a few that actually wrote and new words that were based on the ancient Hebrew, but kind of like giving ancient words new meanings in order to make Hebrew even, so you'll be able to speak it in a way that makes sense. And they won. So we are all speaking Hebrew, and I'm thankful for that, because that's a very strong connection to your roots.
And maybe that's something that Ghana can learn. I mean, Israel is 73, and we're celebrating that. Ghana is about a decade younger, so 64. But we've also been battling with language, and of course colonization brought English in here, and that's our official language. You've discovered that, and there have been lots of conversations about whether we should be teaching in some of our ethnic languages, for example. And so maybe we have something else to learn from Israel as well. And maybe we can visit that, viewers. We can visit that, maybe learn something. But now let's talk about what it was like for you, Ayelet, with family. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
How many?
I have 4 siblings. I'm the older daughter, naturally.
Oh, so Ayelet works for you.
Yeah, and I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers, which are younger than me.
And what was it like growing up with them? Was it fun? Do you have any interesting memories?
Growing up, I remember being, I was like, the leader of the pack, the first one. Of course, all of my childhood memories are with my family. We were, again, it was a small and relatively safe community, so we would run around outside playgrounds, going in and out of neighbors, friends, and running on the.
So
I have a lot of memories.
One big community.
Yes.
Yeah. And your parents, what did your parents do? What were they like?
So my parents, like a lot of Israelis, we are all maybe 1, 2, 3 generations Israelis. So my parents actually are They immigrated. My father is from the U.S. and my mother is from England. They met in Israel, but they really tried to bring us up in a very Israeli setting. So we didn't even speak English at home so much. Wow. We spoke a little bit, but most of my English came later.
You have American and English, and there was no English at home.
There was more than a regular family, but they really tried to make this a very Israeli. Like they came to assimilate, they came to become Israeli, and this was the atmosphere at the house. And we didn't grow up in an Anglo community or something like that, so it was very Israeli.
Let's talk a little bit before we get into our shopping. Just a little bit about Israel and the concept of it being a melting pot. What kinds of different ethnicities and what kinds of places that people migrate from? I mean, I remember at some point being very close to, they're still my friends, but spending more time with them because we were all in the U.S. together at a point. Moroccan friends, and they were Moroccan-Israeli, and some of the weddings, they still had their Moroccan traditions, even though they were Jewish and they were Israeli. What are some of the different ethnicities?
Yeah,
cultures?
So Israel is extremely diverse because, like I mentioned, it's all maybe 100-year-old story that comes back 2,000 years. But so we have Jews literally from every country in the globe that you can imagine. So this brings, and it's relatively new history. So everybody had either parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents that are from a different origin, and there is a combination of the traditions. So, for example, if you ask me what is Israeli food, well, it's so diverse. It really depends where you grew up and who were your neighbors and what dishes you learned to make from your friends. So it's extremely diverse, and we try. And of course, that also brings some tension a lot of times, especially that we have also different kinds of levels of observance of Judaism, and of course we also have Christians and Muslims. We have some, not only a Jewish population, also quite a big Israeli Arab population. So we are still, I think, figuring out how to live together. It is not always, it's a bumpy journey. But it's definitely the only way to do it. And I think in that sense we have a lot to learn from Ghana, and I was really inspired to see how in Ghana you have also a lot of different languages, different cultures, different religions, yet it feels here that people are very respectful of each other and really living together in harmony, considering all the differences. It's definitely something that Ghana could influence Israel and help us go in that direction.
Thank you for recognizing that. Thank you. But yes, we're here in this, wonderful fabric shop. Viewers, I did tell you that we're here at Fresco International Enterprise, and Olive is here. Hi, Olive. Sorry for invading your space, but so this is my friend Ayelet. Yeah, she's from the Israeli Embassy. We're celebrating Israel Day. Israel is celebrating 73 years of independence. We're from City TV. The show is Diplomatic License. So I get to spend time with the diplomatic community and learn about their culture. And we learn from each other as well. I also share Ghana culture with them. But she is in love with our fabric, as I'm sure most people who come into Ghana are. So we want to do some shopping. So thank you. What do you see?
Well, I see
Everything.
a lot of choices. It is really incredible.
Do you have an idea of what you want to make?
This
with
time,
it?
yeah, I'm thinking of a tablecloth.
Tablecloth.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a couple, but I can't get enough of them. So,
So something for a tablecloth.
I'm thinking maybe that one up there looks good. The purple one, the purple and green one.
Purple and green. Yeah, that's really well blocked.
No,
The one at the top?
No, the second
This
row.
one.
Second row.
Oh, second row.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
That's
That
interesting.
one looks good.
That's a nice one. Do you want all the 12 yards or?
I think
How
6
big
would
is it?
do.
Six?
Yeah,
6
6 would do.
yards. Okay.
Let's see which others want. I actually saw one at the entrance that I liked. A lot of them have the Star of David, which I find interesting. So that's-
Yeah.
I can
Maybe we
definitely
can-
relate to that.
Olive.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, a lot of our fabric has the star, which is the Star of David. I mean, it's on the Israeli flag.
Yeah.
What's the name of this cloth?
Bonsu.
Bonsu.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Shak.
Shak.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the history of it? What it means? You can't really tell. But yeah, a lot of them have the star.
It's
David.
interesting.
It's true.
It's like, of course,
Yeah.
for us, a very
That
unique
is very
symbol.
interesting.
This one is also
Yeah, I'll
very
find out more about that.
And the different color of that one.
Oh, it also has the star.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah, this one's beautiful.
So this is also bonsu.
Yeah, bonsu.
All the ones that have the star.
Yeah,
bonsu.
the same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, these are
Yeah,
really
that's the
small
small
ones.
ones.
I like the red and the blue together. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah, it's almost like you have a little bit of Ghana and a little bit of Israel in this one.
Yeah.
The red from the Ghana flag, and you have blue and white for Israel, and the star.
Very symbolic. Actually, this one too. You see,
Yeah,
I'm always
true.
going for that. But the green and the yellow,
Yeah.
we're missing those. Let's see. Help me out. What would
What
you
colors
choose?
do you like?
I really like when there's a mixture. I like the blues and the reds and the the brighter
Mixture
one.
of
But
things.
but when there's like a random mixture that works, that's when it becomes really interesting.
Okay. Let's see. Do you like block patterns, or you like more abstract flow of
Yeah,
yeah,
the
more
second.
abstract thing? Let's see.
Could you recommend anything for us?
Olive, is there anything that you recommend for us? Sounds like a mixture of colors. Yeah, but the one you chose for the tablecloth, that's really
That one's good, huh?
This one.
Yeah, I think also that one is actually a little bit of an interesting mixture.
The pink.
No, wait, 3 down. Yeah. No, the one after.
This
yeah.
one. Yeah.
What do you say?
This one, the name is Obapa.
Obapa.
Yes.
I wasn't aware that each design
Yes,
has a name.
they all have a name. Obapa means like a good woman.
Yeah.
And what does this one
This is
mean?
Bonsu.
Yeah, bonsu. But what does
Whale
that mean?
or shark.
Yeah,
Whale or
this-
shark. Which
yeah.
one is it?
Yeah, it's shark.
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 Yeah.
Interesting. So each design, these are like, how do the designs work? Like, because
Some have names, some doesn't have names.
who makes them? It's like it's a special profession of
Yes.
like design making.
Yes.
And
It's
then
from GTP, Ghana Texture Prints,
uh-huh.
Ghana made.
Beautiful. So how much is that one?
It's 100 cities.
For the 12?
No, for the 6 years.
For the 6 yard?
Yeah.
Okay. And there are different types. So this is new style.
New Star. You have New
Okay.
Star, you have Adipa, and
So-
you have Adipa Jumas.
So GTP has like should I call them collections? They're collections. So Adepadumas,
Adipa and New
New
Star.
Style. New Style is supposed to be like the new age. They were trying. There was a point when I think must have been 2003, 2004. The president at the time, President Kufuor, he wanted Ghanaians and especially young people to get more into, local fashion.
The Friday.
That's where it started from. The Friday.
I
wear.
tried to do that.
Yeah, that's where it
'Cause that's
started
fun.
from.
Oh, so then they had
Yeah,
the
so
new
then,
collection
yeah, so,
in order to...
I mean, younger people, one of the things that young people were complaining about was that some of the colors were too dull and it didn't really match their vision of what fashion is. And GTP was one of the brands that jumped on it and started coming up with new collections like New Style that were a little more vibrant, that younger people could relate to.
Interesting. Oh, these are also very cute. With,
Oh, yeah.
Chicken.
A little.
This one.
Yeah.
I like
It's
the
a
red
different
one.
color.
The red one's
This one.
better. Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Okay, should I bring it?
Sure.
Oh, this one are the
I always
fellow
go for the
Ghanaians.
red, but then I feel like I need to
these are
diversify.
fellow. It's
Yeah,
called
fellow
Ghanaians.
Ghanaians. Yes.
Which is?
This one are fellow
It's just a
Ghanaians.
later
Yeah,
version?
latest ones.
Fellow Ghanaians.
Yes.
Has the president worn any of them?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them.
So you know when the presidents during the COVID period, when President Nana Akufo-Addo would address the public, every time he would be wearing a fabric shirt. You know, when he says, fellow Ghanaians, I'm coming to you for the first time, I'm coming to you for the 22nd time, you know. And every time...
It was one of
Yes, and it always has a meaning, you know. So usually
I was
something...
watching the addresses, but I wasn't getting that at all. I need to revisit them. And look
always
at
has
them.
a meaning. So it's usually something to inspire hope.
So interesting.
You know, initiate
Something
calm.
like this. These fellow Ghanaians.
So, his glasses.
Oh, that's awesome.
I like that.
That's genius. Oh my God.
That's so cool.
Fellow Ghanaians.
So all of these are the ones that you
That's
wore
so
during
cool.
it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, thank you for thanking me. I would never, you know, I enjoy them and I buy them so much, but I never get to hear all these stories
It's so
about
cool.
the fabrics.
We actually have his glasses.
That's awesome.
Viewers, you just need to take a look at those ones and come get some fellow Ghanaians.
This one is locked down.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With the padlocks.
Yeah, I see. And you wore that also in one of the
Yes,
speeches?
all of them.
Wow.
Interesting. Oh wow. Yeah, so the fabrics, as you see, they also
Very
have meaning.
Strong part of the culture. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that even COVID now has a story. So I'm just thinking 20, 30 years down the line, somebody comes into a shop and asks, what does it mean? Oh, some time ago there was this pandemic and...
Oh, I can't wait for it to become a good story. And,
I know.
And that's it.
Away from our reality.
Yeah.
Olive, thank you for prompting us about that.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's even another fellow Ghanaians here.
Yeah.
But this one, you said this one is also part of the fellow Ghanaians, but it doesn't have... Ah, no, it's just...
Okay, not this one. Okay,
Ah,
but,
yeah,
but I see
the
them now.
glasses.
They have different colors.
So every single time he addresses the nation, it had his...
It had a meaning.
But it had his glasses on too?
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
It's really interesting. Love it. But this is nice.
Yeah.
What's the name of this one? Or it doesn't have a name.
This one is a confirm.
I'll confirm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Guinea
means-
fowl.
Ah, yeah. Well, self-explanatory.
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna get this one. This one's beautiful. And perhaps that one too. That one, the one that catches your eyes at first. You
Yeah.
know, there's something to it.
Okay, so that's for a tablecloth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This one.
Yes, please.
What about this? This pink and blue.
This one.
Yes.
This is Achichidiechi. Achichidiechi, that's the name.
Achichidiechi.
Yeah.
This is also one of the more traditional ones.
Huh. It's not one that I actually see so common. It's beautiful.
It's a different color. It's another
That
color.
one has more
yeah,
colors.
Different
Yeah.
color.
Oh, that one I like.
Another color.
This is what I was talking about, like colors that I would never put together, but
Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
works. It's like the magic of the
Very
African
interesting.
stuff. It's beautiful.
You know, and these days our designers are getting more and more creative, so they could take this Achichidiechi and then maybe take the
mix
one
it
that
to
you
a
just
different one.
and then combine it in one
together.
outfit. It's really interesting.
This one's also very nice. I'm always for the blue
Yeah.
and the reds. Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
blue
one
and
is
red is
nice.
your thing, I see.
I guess, I don't know, but it's what's happening now, that's for sure.
Oh wow. It's almost like you're looking out of a window, right?
Yeah.
What's this one called? Olive.
This one is Jacredium from Ebu. Okay, how do I translate this one? Jacro. Chokomegbe koyon.
Ah, so
Jacro.
chocolate. So like one of the trees has
fallen.
fallen.
If you
so
are
like
standing
yes,
alone, you fall. But
you fall.
yeah,
it's like talk about unity.
Come together.
Yeah, so it talks about
Yeah, come
unity.
together.
Yeah.
Well, it relates to what we were talking about before, huh?
Exactly.
Coming together.
Has to do with unity. You know. Not a single tree makes a forest kind of thing.
Ah, beautiful.
That's the one we want.
Oh yeah, perfect choice. Does this have a name too?
No, the one that she chose here.
Does it have a name?
No.
It's almost like a pinwheel.
Yeah. I wonder if it would work well in a tablecloth, since you need to cut it and put it together. I don't know if that would.
I think it could.
This one is 60 hours.
I'm also looking for a fabric for one of my sofas.
One of your sofas.
That might work for that. Beautiful. And
yeah, you should take that. What kind of vibe do you want for your sofa?
It's for the family room, so this is kind of like calm. It could work. Oh, too many choices.
Way too many.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
This one is interesting. So you try to do the Friday wear?
So
it's not such a thing anymore?
No, it is. You know, I love fabrics, but I'm also very dramatic in the way I dress. You know, so apart from just the Friday wear, I also try to just work with a lot of local designers. Yeah, so even if it's not, if it's a block color and it's not the full print, I want to work with a local designer to do it. If it's lace, I want a local designer to use it. Yeah.
There's a lot of talent here when it comes to fashion, that's for sure.
Okay, so Ayelet, while we get our stuff together, let's wrap up this conversation.
Sure.
So, I mean, 73 years old, and I'm so happy that you've been able to spend your day with me, celebrate it with me. I hope you have some more time with family. I've taken a bit of it. What do you see for Israel in the next, say, 73 years?
Oh, wow.
Maybe not in our lifetime. Maybe we'll live, but what do you see?
I think if COVID taught us anything, is that the future is quite unexpected. But I would say that what I wish for the future is Israel is to really continue this amazing growth and surprise us again, because really this country does not stop on surprising us and bringing miracles to themselves and to the world. And I really hope that these years will be years where we find the strength to come together more as a nation and be a light to the nation, which is what we pray and believe that was the reason why Israel was established. And of course, I hope to see more and more relationships and stronger ties between Ghana and Israel. When I came to Ghana, I was amazed by the appreciation that the Ghanaians have for the state of Israel, and it's something that growing up I was not aware of. And I just see so much in common in the strong culture that both countries have and strong traditions, while looking forward for a better future and working to build it for themselves. And I really pray that we will be able to grow together more. And yeah, who knows, in 73 years where will we be hopefully celebrating the Independence Day in Israel.
Yeah,
around
without COVID.
Children and grandchildren
and great grandchildren. Thank you so much, and I do hope you're staying in Ghana for a while longer.
Oh yeah, I'm around.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I hope to see you again, maybe off camera, maybe on camera. I don't know, and then hopefully COVID finds its place, or we can get it under control, and we can do a trip to Israel, and I can see where you grew up as well. I think that would be beautiful.
Let's do that.
That would be beautiful. We should. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us. This has been another episode of Diplomatic License right here on City TV. My name is Apioko. We've been commemorating Israel Day, 73 years of independence, lots to learn from Israel. But in all of this, we're also celebrating the beautiful partnership, I like to call it a beautiful marriage, that Israel and Ghana have, come to. We're also celebrating the beautiful marriage that Israel and Ghana have come to bring into fruition over time. So stay tuned. There's more to come on City TV. We're also live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. From the heart of Makola, Ayelet and I are continuing our shopping. She is the head of trade and economics at the mission here, Israeli mission here in Accra. Bye to you guys. Maybe we'll send you some gifts from Israel one of these days.
Bye.